And welcome in to MIZ-STL on the Lou Information Station. I'm Grant Salzman. He's Brendan Schaefer, and it's Wednesday, and we are recovering. I don't know what we're recovering from exactly. There could be a multitude of things after we had a weekend in Nashville, recovering from a long weekend. But I'm still recovering, Brendan Schaefer, from the defeat in Nashville by the Missouri Tigers.
I will never recover from that one. A piece of me was left in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm afraid, after that game.
Yep.
Because it couldn't have gone worse. I mean, it couldn't have been more excruciating if you tried. You could not have come up with a more just absolutely devastating way to lose a game and to have a season get altered, maybe permanently. And maybe, I don't know, there's a realm in which that game and the way it unfolded permanently alters the Mizzou football program.
Yep.
Forever.
Yep.
I'll explain as we go along today, Grant, what I mean by that. But I don't think I'm not saying that will happen or that has happened, but I'm saying it's a possibility based on the butterfly effect of where we go from here.
This is a very weird analogy that I want to tie into things. Do you remember the Masters this year with Rory McIlroy? How it seemed like every single thing was going for him, and then every single thing was going against him, and he basically handed the tournament away. He miraculously wins it in the playoffs.
Maybe that's the lesson. Is it worked out in the end?
It did for him, but I'm saying for Mizzou, it kind of felt like they had the shot to win it over and over and over and over again. And instead of the Rory McIlroy fate, where eventually he gets the win in the tournament, Mizzou missed all of their putts and missed all of their shots, and Vandy finally capitalized and won the football game. I think that's what hurts so much, is that Vandy really had one chance to win that game. Mizzou had 5, 6, 8.
What stood out? What stood out about the way Mizzou lost the game? What were some of the we'll play the hits.
Well, let's it's the margins again, Brendan. I know I've harped on them, and I know the margins are like a coach speak made up thing, it feels like, but a team was outpossessed by, I believe, 13 minutes. They had 20 to 30 less plays. They were outgained by over 100 yards. They were outpassed. They were outrushed. The turnover battle was the same, and the penalties were 3 yards of difference. It was dominated by Missouri, and they didn't win the football game. That's what hurts so bad. What hurts more than the Bama game, because the Bama game was they had their chances, but Bama played really well. Or Bama's a really good team. Probably better than Mizzou. That's what I walked away with Bama from. From this one, I walked away, Missouri's a better team than Vanderbilt. Missouri is better than Vandy, and they didn't win the football game. And they had a backup or a third-string quarterback, and they had a backup kicker. Everything that could go against them went against them, and I still thought they were a better team than Vandy.
Yeah, okay, so Robert Meyer misses another field goal. I can see I'll have any other kicker. No offense to the true freshman. I'm done with that guy. We just can't have that, and if the ceiling is such for Robbie Meyer that we're like, oh, that's why you hang on to letting him be the kicker, the floor is really all I'm concerned about, and the bottom is completely dropped out of this kid as a kicker. So you know what? We tried it. It's not your fault. You're a true freshman. I get it. I'll have any of the other kickers be the kicker moving forward. I don't need to see Robbie Meyer attempt another field goal. Extra point, whatever, but a field goal, never again. I just don't.
I don't even need it to be 40 yards to make everything inside of 33 yards. 35 yards.
I'm not asking for much. So that's number one. That's not the biggest takeaway. Bo Perbula's injury is the biggest takeaway. That sucked. And I know you were on the field, Grant. I was 5 rows from the Mizzou sideline, and Bo came back out on the crutches and in the air cast, and I was just like, this doesn't feel like real life. We could talk about how he got injured and the play calling of it all. I thought it was another bad day by Kirby Moore, 3 in a row now. I don't know what. I think it's going to become a thing. You're seeing Ahmad Hardy retweeting people talking about him not getting the ball enough. You see Marquise Johnson throwing another fit on the field when he doesn't get the ball. we continue to talk about we don't see quite enough of Alubade. Jude James was nice to see him emerge in the second half. I think he has a good rapport with Zollers, and so that was good to see. And I think he's just like a gritty player and knows kind of how to find the soft spot in the defense. And so I think we'll see him get some more playing time moving forward. I like what I saw from him. But like, let's talk about the Kirby Moore of it all. What did you make of his day? Obviously, the play where Prbula gets hurt, it's like it feels like we're doing a little bit too much with running the quarterback. It happens with Sam Horn against Central Arkansas. It happens here. It's a part of their game plan. There have been times where the Brady Cook fake pitch dive play has worked. Has it become very predictable, though, that Mizzou runs it always on the goal line? You have a third down and a fourth down where you do not hand the ball off to Ahmad Hardy. Is that more egregious than the fact that you got another quarterback killed? Can the coordinator really be blamed for that when it's just part of the game? All those thoughts kind of running through your head, but clearly that's one of the examples of the way that Mizzou lost this game when you're on the goal line, 2 plays to be able to punch it in from the 3, and you cannot figure out a way to do it. Just a pass play that gets blown up and there's no chance, and then you're still from the 3 because you didn't gain any yards. You're going to go for it on fourth down. You don't get it. Your quarterback gets hurt. Your thoughts on that entire sequence, Chris? Yeah,
so I have no issue with the play calls on first and second down. I mean, they wanted to give it to Hardy, and they did. I personally, and I'm not blaming Kirby Moore, Missouri for this because it's just football, a football issue I have. Go under center. Go under center with Ahmad Hardy and make it. You're 2 yards away. Make it a yard closer instead of starting in 7.
I don't even know if this team
Zollers took an under center snap later in the game.
He did, but did Bo? I mean,
Bo has taken under center snap before. Remember they ran the tush push in the first play of the game. Like they can do it. I would have loved to have seen that and just line up Jordan Harris as the fullback and let's go to work.
Why
we
can't
need
we
2
just
yards.
come up with a passing? Even if you want to have a passing play, why is it that when they were on a pass play, nobody knows what they're doing and it gets blown up in the backfield? So I don't understand, but it seems like every single time their third down efficiency, they've done well. Their goal line stuff, and this feels like it's been all year long, has not been a strength.
So Mizzou gets the ball at the 20-yard line. First play is it's marked as a rush to Kevin Coleman. I thought it was a little screen. Maybe it was behind the line of scrimmage, whatever. He gets 10 yards, 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line.
It's going so well. We're going to punch this in and win this football game.
Hardy runs for 7 yards on first down.
Do it
awesome.
Do it again.
He then gets stopped for a gain of 1. I think it was a gain of a 1.5. So I think you're at the 1.5 yard line is from what I saw. And then he almost got in from the 3 yard line too. He needed 1 push forward. The third down call is what I have issue with. If you're going to run Prbula on 4th, run it again on 3rd. You're at the 2. Let's go to work.
Gain yourself a yard. Gain a yard.
Be tough because Prbula scores if you gain a yard there, and you don't. You run the bootleg and you don't get in. Here's what I'll say.
Nobody
Brendan.
knows where they're going.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Complicated. I don't know what it is.
It gets blown up for it shouldn't have, but it did. I had no reason. I was not upset at all with the play call because I think it is the right call. It works. Even when other teams know it's coming, it's worked time and time and time and time again. Now
the fake pitch, the Brady Cook play, is what you're talking about.
Yes, the Brady Cook plays work.
And I'll let you finish this. I just want to say I didn't think they ran it super crisply. For one, like it didn't seem like it had the same kind of rhythm when Brady Cook ran it. It was just he really sold it, and Bo at times this year has run it to success, but I didn't feel like this one quite had the defense guessing, but maybe it's just been we ran it one too many times too.
Well,
it's predictable at this point.
To be fair, too, what I saw, I mean, he hit the hole. There was a hole. A linebacker just from Vandy came in and shut the door. And I can blame the Mizzou O-line a little bit, too, because you got to get guys pushing the pile there. Like
that's what I thought.
Bo fell back and obviously hurts his ankle, but Bo has stood up enough and kept his left leg's the one that was wrapped. He kept his right leg churning for that half second there, that if there's just a few guys that get in and shove him, the injury, A, probably never happens, and B, he might fall forward and reach the ball out and score because he was reaching. He was up. Like, it was a tough run from Bo. I don't think that I can't put the blame on Bo Prbula, but what I would have loved, and they ran this last year when Brady Cook was banged up, I believe in the Auburn game, was Roberts or Hardy. Put Hardy at slot receiver and have Roberts fake the pitch to him, and then he goes up the middle. Put one of your running backs do it, because we've seen that before too. But no, I don't have an issue with the 4th down play call. I really don't. Okay. It's your best play. It
just sucks that he got hurt. It is what it is. That's kind of your stance.
You can't be mad, because I really don't think, even if you don't get it, if Bo's healthy, no one's that mad about it. Because I think that's your best 2-point play.
We're devastated. We're devastated because you burned a timeout, first of all. And when you burn that timeout to get the play calling right, the play calling better be good. And you got to execute if you're going to waste that timeout, because what you do in spending that timeout to get everybody aligned.
Yeah.
You're basically saying we're scoring on this 2-play sequence, because otherwise we're chasing this football game and we don't have our timeouts at the end to stop the ball and get the ball back, which they're elite at doing. If Vandy is leading the game late and you can stop them 3 times on the run, Mizzou's got still a top 5 run defense in the country. I need those timeouts. So if I'm going to use one earlier, I said this in the moment. This wasn't hindsight. I said burning the timeout means we have to score 6 points here. You have to. And they didn't get any. And so but to your point, like, I can live with, I didn't like the play call, but I could just be emotional because I love Bo Pribula. I know that he didn't throw the football very well the last few games. I would give him more credit than people did for Auburn because of the way that he finished that thing out and led them down the field. But I get it. We'll talk about Matt Zollers coming in, and whether it's true or not, whether it's going to materialize or not, what we have to cling to as Mizzou fans is through the air, they kind of move the ball pretty well with Matt Zollers, and maybe this can be an upgrade in terms of the downfield passing attack.
I agree.
And maybe a downfield passing attack upgrade can mean less in the box for Ahmad Hardy to have to contend with. Maybe this opens up the offense. I think it's wishful thinking, because I think you're going to see teams say, okay, now we know Matt Zollers is the quarterback. What do we do to game plan for him? And they're going to adjust. It's not to say that what we saw from Matt Zollers was a fluke. He was fantastic in Nashville after coming into that game, Grant. But I also think, like, adrenaline pumping, it was just one of those things when the stars aligned. No one prepped for him. The fact that the stars aligned and Matt Zollers plays his ass off and they still can't win the football game is so frustrating. And you give up an 80-yard rush right after Bo Pribula's injury. I mean,
well, no, not right after. The defense comes out. Well, my last thought on this, Brendan, is if that's your 1A call on a 2-point conversion, you run it there. And if that was their 1A call, that's why I'm not upset. But then the defense comes out and dominates again. They look great.
To your point,
3 and out. They gained 6 yards. Like
that was the other reason that I thought running the ball twice makes sense, because we're getting the ball right back. If you stack them up that deep against their own goal line, you're probably getting the ball right back. But then what happens?
I also didn't hate if they would have kicked it. I said that live on 3rd down. So if they don't get this, I would not hate a field goal in a game that was going like this. I agree.
I hear you.
I agree. But okay, so
I think you had to score 6 points.
I think so,
and
too.
Your kicker can't make a kick.
Yeah,
that's a hard part.
That's a big issue. So then
I'm not going to belabor that point, but I mean, oh my goodness, just demoralizing.
He would have made that kick from the 2.
You're probably right, because extra points, other than the one that got blocked earlier in the season, have been fine.
He would have made that from the 2. So then Mizzou gets the ball back, convert on 2 4th downs. Zollers 15-yard completion to Josh Manning on 4th and 4 from the 30.
Yep.
They're moving it well, and then Roberts gets stuffed.
It was the other devastating. Yeah. Go ahead.
Roberts gets stuffed. Zollers incomplete to Marquise Johnson, and he had him too. And then I had no issue with the play calling here either, Brendan, of 3rd and 10. Let's go take the lead. We need points desperately. Don't make your freshman quarterback do too much. Let's get 4 yards. Roberts tackled, and then you miss a 29-yard field goal, I believe it was.
Yeah, and it was close enough on the field goal that I can't really. I don't know if it was 29 or 39.
It says really 29 on CBS Sports.
I had a hard time because I was sitting right at the 25-yard line on the other side, and so like the depth perception is a little bit off. I was watching the screen for a lot of the day when the action was on that end of the field. Anyway, you're right. The game happens so fast when you're not watching it on TV.
Oh, I know.
And your adrenaline is going when you're in the building. And so you're right. I conflated that the 80-yard rushing touchdown happened right after Bo's injury. It didn't. It happened after the other devastating thing, which was the field goal miss. Now, so you're like, all right, we've done all these great things to be able to hang in this football game. And then the 80-yard play happens.
This is a very minor thing about the kick, but we saw him miss from the left hash. Now,
the left hash. That was the one thing I was going to say.
I believe the play was from the left hash, and it was an inside zone. So I can't fault anyone, because if you're Jamal Roberts, you're going, I'm going to get 10 yards and get the first down. If you're Kirby Moore and Eli Drinkowitz, okay, inside handoff to the right side. Hopefully, he gets tackled around the middle of the field, and he ended up cutting it back to the left side. Maybe the stretch play would have been the better
coach's
call.
Fault, though. Yeah, but if they're running a play that can conceivably be run to the right, you don't have time to communicate all that. Like you're taking a little bit of a chance, maybe. But I'll give credit to the coaching staff and say they did maybe make an effort to put it on the right hash or put it toward the middle of the field more so than on the problematic left hash. But the other thing I was saying earlier that I guess I didn't finish my point because I'm a jumbled mess still thinking about this game was that when you're from 29 yards away or whatever it is,
shouldn't matter.
I shouldn't have to worry about which hash mark I'm kicking from. I shouldn't have to.
The only time you worry about that,
top of mind when I'm playing calling.
It's for a game winner.
End of the game.
Yeah.
End of the game. Absolutely. You're going to line it up. But I shouldn't have to think about something like that as the play caller in that moment. So I'm going to let Kirby Moore off the hook for that. I don't let him off the hook for much from this game. That's one thing that I'll let him off the hook for. You just have to make that kick. Let's talk about the referees.
So first play, 80-yard touchdown run.
Your Rory McIlroy analogy, the thing you were missing was that Rory didn't have spectators running onto the course and mooning him and pushing him down while he was trying to make a putt. I feel like that's the equivalent. I know you said the penalties were even. I think if you look back at the nature of the penalties, devastating to Missouri, mostly inconsequential for Vandy.
Vandy had one devastating one. It was when the unsportsmanlike conduct took them out of field goal range.
Field goal range. Great point. Absolutely. But other than that, you're talking about 80-yard, and it was a hold. It was outside the pads. Yes. Absolutely a hold. And it sucks that happened.
I agree. I struggle.
That's 7 points out of thin air. Yeah. I mean, out of nowhere, that's 7 points, Grant, for how Mizzou outplayed him. The net success rate, the chart comes out every Monday. I don't know who does that, but I do enjoy looking at it. We were second from the bottom in terms of like outplaying an opponent but losing over the weekend. Mizzou was the second worst example of that, and it was in the same direction against Alabama. This one was even worse though. They outplayed Vanderbilt, but when you have one play like that flips it, it's hard to recover from your starting quarterback getting injured on the goal line where you really needed 6 points because you burned your timeout that made it more difficult to chase the game later. Plus the 80-yard touchdown happens in a blink of an eye. It's like, now you have to overcome this. It was excruciating to watch this football game.
It was a hold on Dalen Carnell, without a doubt. But what I will say, because I hate blaming games on refs. I really think it's only happened a few times. If I'm playing devil's advocate, it was a hold, but there were 2 or 3 other Tigers that could have made a tackle on Young for a gain of 10 to 15. You know what I mean? Like it should have been a holding.
The defense acted like it was coming back for a hold. That's how the defense played it. It's like
which you can't.
This is going to be given to me. No, and you can't, especially after a missed field goal. And I know the defense played their Grant. They played incredibly well. Diego Pavia, non-factor in this football game. Wholly irrelevant.
He's not winning the Heisman.
Bum.
I just spilt my water.
Well, we're pissed off on a Wednesday. Look, he was irrelevant to this football game. Corey Batoon, I get on you a lot. The plan for Diego Pavia was impeccable. Flawless. It was a great game plan. There were still some moments where it's 3rd and 8 and you're dropping into 12-yard coverage and waiting for the guy to catch it. And I will never, to the day I die, understand why that happens 2-3 times a game. But I'll just have to assume those coaches are smarter than me because it does happen every week. But
I think it might be his clientele he's working with a little bit, Brendan.
The clientele. I don't know. He hasn't been able to beat it through their skulls this year of how to not play those situations. But to your point,
the tackle still should have been made
defensively. The tackle should have been made, and it was in that moment where I'm asking for my defense to give me a little bit more. And I know I'm asking a lot of the defense throughout this game because of the anemia of the offense and the play calling on the other side of the ball that puts you in the spot and the missed field goals and the incompetence on the goal line. I'm asking for a little bit more from my defense than they should even have to give me. But guys, as a football team, we're right there to win this game. All you have to do is just play this drive like all the others.
Yeah.
Or even 80% of it. Let them march down and kick a field goal, and it takes 7 minutes. You can't give up an 80-yard touchdown on one play. And they just fell flat, and the energy matched missing a field goal.
Yeah.
That was the time that you saw it kind of, you slumped your shoulders for a play, and that really cost them.
And getting stopped on the 1 yard line and losing your quarterback. That's when all those things combined happened. I sent a text to my friends group chat. I was like, I have never seen a game that's a 1-possession game with 20 minutes left in the game that's more over than this one. Like, I was like, this game is so over.
It was over.
And then Matt Zollers happens. And he
sat down.
Drives the Tigers down the field. He finds Jude James on a 4th and goal for a touchdown. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, my God. It's 10-10. How?
I was shaking. I was floating. I'm like, how is this possible? How are we here?
And then the defense gets a 3-and-out, Brendan, and the offense starts moving a little bit.
We have the football. We have the ball.
At the 50-yard line. And botched handoff from Matt Zollers. At the 50, right at it. I looked. And Brendan, for how great he was.
I think we were that far up, but I guess we were.
We were that close. That and some other things that we'll get into showed a 19-year-old who hasn't played football in 2 years. Like,
okay, let's talk about the handoff, because that was, I mean, that was the type of thing that I expected to happen.
Exactly.
Like, it's just inevitable that there's going to be a freshman moment in there. So I wasn't even mad. I was devastated. I was heartbroken, but I was like, I'm not mad at the kid. Like, it sucks that it happened that way. He thought he could pull the RPO a little bit later. It was in his belly. Whatever it was, it's on the quarterback more so than the running back. And it's super unfortunate, but it's like, I couldn't be angry. I was just devastated.
A fumble that never hit the ground. Never hit the ground.
Is it technically an interception if you like shuffle it to the other team?
No, because you ripped it from them. So it's a fumble that never hit the ground, which is devastating. And then Vandy just goes on maybe the longest 50-yard drive ever. I think it was a 7-minute drive. Let's see.
From midfield.
5 minutes and 10 seconds from midfield. Yeah. It starts with the Pavia incompletion, another Pavia incompletion. And
penalties in there? Were there any penalties?
On 2nd and 10, Kitchen hit Pavia in the head for roughing the passer.
Yeah. Was that a real one?
Oh, was that legit? It was Charmin soft, but yes. Okay. Because he hit him in the head. He high-fived his helmet.
To the head. Yeah, can't do it.
It was so soft, but it was a penalty.
By the rule, letter of the law. I didn't see it live, and so I wasn't going to bitch about it on Twitter, but yeah.
The next one that really hurts is on 1st and 20. Defense, it looks like, is going to find a way to hold. Pavia and Vandy have not been able to move the ball well at all, especially on 1st and 20. And a ball thrown out of bounds, maybe into the first row of the bleachers, is called for DPI. This was the worst call of the entire day. This was brutally bad. It was so bad that was called pass interference.
It was the one time in my seat that people would turn around looking at me like I had 3 heads based on my reaction, because I don't remember what I said. I saw red. I was trying to say it's in the 3rd row, but the words that I was saying sounded like hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
That's the one time where I lost my cool, because I just couldn't believe, because I knew what it meant. I knew what it meant on this drive that was lasting forever and ever and ever, that it was going to be very costly.
And then 2 minutes left. I look over. I say, you know what? This Vandy team, like, teams don't go good from bad to good this quick. Like, they have to overcome something. They have to overcome some heartbreaking loss or some heartbreaking moment. Like, they're going to fumble here.
It's their turn. You thought they would?
I said, it's like, it's their turn for that heartbreaker. Like,
were you in that end zone? Were you that close to the action?
I was on the other side. The way Mizzou is gone, I was like, they're like, if it's gonna happen, like, if I know college football, they'll fumble this football. And sure enough, Sterling Webb comes up with the football, and big old Sterling Webb's running down the field.
I didn't hear a whistle. Not until he was about halfway.
I knew he didn't score. I knew he was down at because he picked it up. I saw touched.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't touched. He was laying down when he jumped on the football.
Oh, right. This is college football.
College.
You're correct. Yeah.
So he was literally laying on the ground with the football, and then they review it. And I still, to this day, have not gotten a good look. I was told
I don't want to.
I don't want to either. I
haven't tried to find it. But everybody said it was clear he was on his backside and was down with the ball.
And
I don't want to see a replay.
That
I never
moment
need to.
when he came out with the football, I was like, oh, my God. they're going to at least get this to overtime. Then Pavia scores, and then Zoller's credit. I mean, he did.
He was incredible
found
on that final drive.
A way. He drew a pass interference penalty after a tripping call on 3rd and 23.
On 4th and 10,
fourth down,
he converted. That was PI as well. That should have been 15. Well, I guess it would have been spot of the foul anyway, but they didn't call that. Gain. Yeah, that guy came and hit the receiver. Mm-hmm. Was it Manning? I don't remember who the pass catcher was. Hit him a second early, and he still held on to the football with no flag thrown. Zollers was exceeding expectations on that particular drive. I know there was the grounding situation. It is one of the worst mistakes, I think. And Drink gets put in a body bag every single week, it seems like, in the final 2 minutes. There has to be a communication to clock that football.
Yeah. So here's the situation of what happened. Mizzou has 2nd and 13 at the 48 with 35 seconds. Second and 8 with 35, 18-yard strike to Kevin Coleman for the first down to Vandy's 30. And to your point, they don't clock the football. They hurry up to the line. I will say a second or two ran off because of the.
It's not the time,
but
it's not the time. It's the ability to get it reset and to get everybody's calm and to get a play call in, and that we can all get behind and be confident in.
Zoller's not taking the sack is probably a good thing. Because if you take the sack, all of a sudden it's 20 seconds. You're ticking. Time is dwindling.
Right. You still have a 10-second runoff from the grounding, but
where instead you got the 10-second runoff, clock stops.
Exactly right.
And until the mistake was rolling out into the pressure. Zollers had a pretty clean pocket, and he rolled right into the DN.
But that's why you clock it, so you could get everybody, because he's had a great drive. Mm-hmm. He was hyper aware of things like the play clock in the fourth quarter that I would never expect a true freshman. But I was sitting there, he was right in front of my face, and he's looking up and seeing 6 on the play clock and just says, "Hey, we got to go. Yeah. We have to snap this football. I know what it means if we don't." That awareness is exceeding what I see every Saturday watching other teams play college football from their quarterbacks. As I sit on the couch, that's kind of my superpower. As a fan, it's like, well, we can look at all these things and we're thinking about them because we're nervous about what could go wrong. Oftentimes we don't see the players as hyper aware of those things, Grant. Yeah. He was. That's something that has me real excited about. I think he processes the game very quickly for his age and experience level is what I took from, that sequence. But to your point, yes, for him to get that ball away and have it not be an interception on the grounding too.
That was that
arm strength, picked. Brother.
That should have been picked. No, that was not that thing was lollipopping in the air, and the Vandy guy. It? Yes, that thing was floating it went like 5 yards.
Maybe I'm thinking earlier on the drive, the play earlier in the drive where he threw and it got out of the right sideline. It went out of bounds to his right.
Yes, you're thinking of a different play.
Yeah, because they weren't as far down the field yet because the ball was coming right to me. I thought, man, this kid, he just made some plays with his arm that I thought were impressive.
I agree.
Unfortunately, he needed to throw the final pass 1 yard further.
So so Missouri catches it at the 1-inch line. Did you ever, did you know, because I heard a roar from the Missouri sideline. I had a great view. I thought he caught it, but I knew it wasn't a touchdown.
I knew he caught it, and I knew they were going to review it and say he caught it. And I knew, in an instant, I processed the whole moment.
You knew he didn't score?
I knew he didn't score.
So you went what?
No.
Okay, good.
I stood there. Here's me watching the game with me. Every play, that's a good play. I don't react. I never cheer. You know why? I was a St. Louis Rams fan from 2000, to 2015. There's always going to be a flag. And so I don't cheer ever. I don't know if I've ever talked about this. I'm never cheering a big play.
Not even a touchdown?
I'm scanning the field every single time.
Huh?
I didn't even notice that I did this about myself until I'm talking about it. But have I ever, if it's a clear guy's open in the back of the end zone and it's just you see it develop and I'll give a roar to that one. But normally I'm delayed reaction on a play that's chaotic like that one. I'm never gonna celebrate and cheer until I see there's no flags. Yeah, I'm a sicko. I'm sick in the head. Normal plays, rushing touchdown that it's clear. Yeah, you celebrate that. I'm still scanning the field though. I'm still looking because I can't tell you how many times. Remember, you know what? The last time it happened to me that I can remember crystal clear in College Station, the touchdown to Burden that came off because of a flag. I was in the Mizzou section for that road game. Mm-hmm. We celebrated the roar of that. I know we were like a little pea in an entire monstrous stadium, but all I could hear was Mizzou fans because we were all together. And it was like 30 seconds before I realized. So I just don't. I normally do not celebrate. And so no, I could tell. I'm like, and it was also that gut feeling of like, this is the final kick in the you know what? Yeah. This is the fact that he did catch it, but it was a little short. And I thought, you lost
the game by 2 inches.
He threw it, twice. From like the middle of the field to the corner, and so it's probably like 50 air yards. I don't really know. It was a good throw. I thought it would be able to get a little bit more on it, but again, like you're under duress. They're trying to tackle you. You have to get air under it to let your receivers get to it. It was just that close, man.
I thought it was an impressive throw because he's lined up from the 35-yard line. That's a hard Hail Mary. The easier ones are when you're at the 50 and you can put all your arm strength into it.
You got to touch on it.
He had to touch it. And when it came out of his hand, I was like, oh my gosh, that's 10 yards out of the end zone. I thought he launched it too far.
I thought it was a good angle trajectory for a guy to be able to go up and get it. I didn't, I thought it had a chance. I thought we were going to do it. I got to be honest with you. As that play's coming up, I remember standing on the bleacher and I'm pointing to the end zone because he's looking over to the sideline and I'm thinking I'm helping, it's going to go to the end zone, because it was, was it 6 seconds?
Yeah.
And it's one of those where like you could think about trying to be sneaky and get a couple yards to the sideline.
Doesn't help anything.
And I'm like, this is okay. Every time there was an incompletion on that series, I'm like, this is okay. Save yourself one shot at it. And we can convert this. I don't know how or why, but we can do this. And like this kid, I've already identified this kid is processing the game really well for his experience level on that drive. And so like, he's going to know what he needs to do here and we're going to get this done. And he gave it the old college try.
That's one way to put it.
Couple inches short. Kid was impressive, man. He really was.
We're gonna talk more about this game Friday, today, the rest of the week because we have a bye week
today because we don't have a game to talk about this weekend.
We'll talk more. But let's move on. We're gonna take a break. Hannah Barton's gonna join us. We'll talk about maybe what this does for Vanderbilt in the SEC. Talk a little big picture SEC.
I don't know if I can handle that, but okay.
Ole Miss with a big win over Oklahoma, and we're gonna see if Brendan is still gonna be cheering for his Commodores through the rest of the way after what happened in Nashville. This is the Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com.
This hour of content on the Lou Information Station is brought to you by Grandpa Pigeons, Johnny Mac's Sporting Goods, and Becky's Carpet and Tile Superstore.
Hey, see that, kids? That's the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the West.
The Lou Information Station, where we'll always call it Highway 40 or Highway 40 if you're a boomer.
The St. Louis expression?
Stream our content 24/7 at louinfo.com. The Lou Information Station.
This is Mizzou wide receiver Kevin Coleman Jr.
And I'm Mizzou linebacker Josiah Trotter.
When we hit the field, we have each other's back.
And off the field, we got James Carlton, State Farm covering us.
Thanks, fellas. Nothing beats college football season and nothing beats saving money. Just by getting a quote from our office and mentioning Mizzou, we'll make a donation to support Mizzou's will to win push on your behalf. No strings attached.
So you're supporting the team just by checking your rates. Doesn't get any easier than that.
It's so easy. Check them out online at cartoninsurance.net. MIZ-STL.
Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill has a new menu.
But don't freak out.
Hot Shots favorites are still there, like their famous wings, tacos, burgers, and pizzas. Plus, sure to be new faves, like Big Philly egg rolls, the Bold and Hearty Slugger sandwich, the Buffalo Chicken Pizza, and 2 new wing sauces, Carolina Gold and Bourbon Glaze. And making a comeback, it's the return of Hot Shots' legendary waffle fries. So now there's even more to love at Hot Shots. Come try out the new menu at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. Find the location nearest you at hotshotsnet.com.
Louinfo.com news headlines brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. GetBC.com.
With your Louinfo.com news, I'm Jared Sorello. I-70 westbound near Adelaide Avenue is now back open again after a bad crash involving a semi and 18-wheeler last night. It led to a complete closure. All westbound lanes closed for several hours while crews cleared the scene. No injuries. A St. Charles County council member is facing backlash after he called people who receive government benefits, quote, lazy people. Councilmember David Hammond reportedly made the comment on a Nextdoor post, adding, quote, if everyone pulled their weight, we'd all be better off, unquote. And a former principal is now suing the Kirkwood School District, claiming he faced discrimination because of his sex. The lawsuit filed by Robert Ricker alleges he was paid less than female administrators, subjected to harassment, and even lost his job because he's a man. The Lou Information Station is streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. I'm Jared Sorello.
Now, louinfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Here's your louinfo.com weather update. We're headed for the mid-50s on the afternoon high today. Still some lingering showers, and the wind will be gusting up to 30 miles an hour. For the overnight hours, that cold front will move out of the way. We'll have high pressure moving in, low 40s and partly cloudy. And then on Thursday, we're in the upper 50s and sunny. Nice on Friday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Who needs a vacation? Are you ready for an unforgettable getaway? Start packing your bags because Branson, Missouri, the vacation and entertainment capital of the U.S., is calling your name. For just $99 per person, here's what you get. A full 3-day, 2-night stay in a luxury resort hotel. A delicious full breakfast buffet every morning you're here. And when you call right now, free show tickets worth up to $100. That's right. Free show tickets to an award-winning show on us. You don't have to leave the country for an amazing vacation. You can drive or fly to Branson and have an incredible time. Whether you bring in the whole family or just planning a romantic escape, this trip is built for you. We guarantee you'll love Branson. This is not a timeshare. It's just an unbeatable vacation deal for only $99 per person. You book now, you can use your tickets anytime this year. You don't even know your travel dates to lock in the special price. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. Call our Branson vacation experts today.
800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. That's 800-497-7198.
Joined now by the boss, Dave Green. Dave, we're building something pretty special here, but running a growing media company takes more than great content. Tell us why you chose Home Bank for your business banking.
For us, it's all about relationships. With Home Bank, we're not just an account number. We know the people there, and they know us, our goals, and where we're headed. That personal connection makes all the difference.
Greener, when you say relationships, what does that really look like?
They not only know my name, Cam, they know our business. And when I need something, whether it's a phone call or a text, weekday or weekend, morning or night, I get a response from someone I know and help with whatever I need.
That's huge. And for a business like ours, you need a bank that can move at the pace you're moving.
Exactly. We're in a fast-changing media world, and Home Bank has been a steady partner through it all.
Home Bank is a team behind our team. Visit myhomebank.bank or call 855-577-2001.
Home Bank, member FDIC. More than a bank, they're your business partner.
And welcome back to MIZ-STL on the Lou Information Station. Hannah Barton is joining Brendan Schaefer and myself. Hannah, how are we this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Well, probably as sad as you are about your Gamecocks. We're feeling that with the Tigers. Let's start there, Hannah, because Brendan, I didn't get a chance to watch any of this game because of the Missouri game going on, but I have seen some stuff, and it was kind of madness. Can you walk us through a little bit of this game? And South Carolina was right there on the precipice of this big upset, which we talked about putting Bama on upset alert. I said take the Gamecocks, and they at least covered for me, but they didn't find a way. Talk us through it, Hannah.
Yeah, I mean, first half was, neither team really looked their best. Mistakes that allowed the other to kind of take advantage. And I think at halftime, it was like, I think it's kind of how this season has gone as for South Carolina fans. It was like, okay, we're either going to come out the second half and this is going to be a game where we feel like we're really going to have a chance, or we're going to know pretty early on in the second half that Bama is going to pull away. And come out the second half, and South Carolina able to take advantage of, again, some Alabama errors and you get to the point where there's 5 minutes left in the game and South Carolina's going up. And it looks like this is going to be an upset. I mean, the entire student section has moved down. They're ready to storm the field with less than 3 minutes to go. And you're tied at 22-22. South Carolina has possession. All you have to do is march down and get within field goal range, and you've won it. And, Lenore Sellers fumbles. Alabama's able to recover. Controversial call is South Carolina allows Alabama to score, but there's only about 30 seconds left.
Right.
And Kraft not able to get it done. I don't think I've ever felt the energy in a stadium shift so just dramatically from we're about to storm the field beating number 4 Alabama. And I told you guys the team that beat number 1 Alabama back in 2010 was back for the game. They were there. And so it was just riding up to be a perfect story. And then I think this has kind of been the mood of the season is it seems like we're right there and something good's finally going to happen. And then it just turns out not too good. And honestly, I mean, think about it. That is kind of the theme for this season. Coming in, it was some of the highest expectations we've seen from South Carolina in a long time.
Maybe
Hopes
ever.
were high, maybe ever. And it was like, oh, this is going to be the time where the program finally heads somewhere to the next level. And then you just feel yourself kind of have the rug ripped out from under you. So, yeah, it was tough. Definitely, the student section was ready. I was on the field a little bit nervous that if they did storm the field, I didn't know my plan of action, but
get out of there.
Didn't end up having to find out. So, oh no, I had to get the content. So I probably would have,
that's right.
Maybe taken a trample or something, but yeah, I guess we'll never know. So,
hey, Hannah, I want to know kind of the temperature. Like, obviously you said with the expectations, Shane Beamer, he's fallen short this time around. But there's talk about him maybe leaping to the Virginia Tech job. Are people worried about Shane Beamer leaving, or are they kind of saying, let's move on from him because it's not going well? What's the temperature on the coach there? Because we're going to be dealing with our own coaching questions as things go along here with the interest in Eli Drinkwitz. I'm curious because South Carolina's kind of going through it in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah, I think the mood around here is honestly, it's not too much of a talk. I mean, obviously there's the conversation happening around it, but I mean, Shane Beamer has been pretty open that this is a community he, sees himself being a part of for a while. I think it'd be one thing if he hadn't had a successful season and maybe they were going to really try to push him out. But the thing with Shane Beamer is you have a really high year and then a not so great year and then a high year and then a not so great year. And so I think if we see, that trend continue and he doesn't really find a way to really climb the ladder, then I don't think it's necessarily going to be up to him. I don't see South Carolina making a rash decision and going in a different direction. But of course, who knows? I also don't necessarily see Beamer leaving for the Virginia Tech job just because I don't really think there's much else in it for him to benefit from other than the chance to kind of, continue that legacy. But that's something that he can do later in his career. I'm not saying that job's always going to be open, but there's going to be other opportunities to do that. And he's been pretty outspoken about the fact that his whole thing is kind of writing his own story. And so I don't think it's too much of a concern, but granted, we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes.
See, me personally, I'm out on Beamer. I'm out on Beamer ball. Like, he has not shown me anything that really should say, like, I'm not saying he should be fired, but if I'm South Carolina, I lose him, I'm not that heartbroken. I mean, 7-6, 8-5, 5-7, 9-4, now 3-5, 32-27 record. Like, none of those numbers aren't particularly impressive. And I'm just.
We would have said that about Drink though before the run that has kind of begun.
I agree.
It was very similar,
but the run.
And I think that's a huge, which is, I think a lot of things have contributed to it. But we've gotten to the point in college football where everything is such a knee-jerk reaction, whether it's players transferring or coaches getting fired or leaving for other jobs. Like, you look back to 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and some of the coaches that were able to take over and build these historic programs, if they would have been coaching in today's landscape, they would have been gone by the time they had enough time to build what we look at as these legacy programs. And so I think that, there's a lot of reasons why that's the landscape that we're working with, but, it is mind-boggling to me how we've gotten to the point where it's like, all right, we don't see a meteoric rise from a program in 4 or 5 years. Like, even if it's a steady climb, like, that coach is done,
Yeah, my thing is that him and Drink are basically 1 year separate, and if we're comparing Drink's been the much better coach. But if I'm just looking at Shane Beamer, I don't think he should be out this year. If, obviously there's rumors of the other jobs, but I think he's overrated. I've never particularly liked him as a coach. I think his leash is much longer than it should be, because it feels like he could probably go 6-6 this season and then go 6-6 next, and then maybe the questions would be asked. But I think if he stays, his leash should be very short at South Carolina next year, and it's because of dumb decisions like he made last week. Why in the world from the 25-yard line would you let the other team score? It's a 42-yard line for college kickers, and the Alabama kicker has never made a competitive field goal in college over 40 yards. It's mind-boggling that he told his team to let him score. And when I heard his quote before I saw the scenario of, we have Sellers back there. We got number 16, the best player on the field. Let's go make magic happen. Well, he got the ball back with 25 seconds left. I don't care how good he is. He's not going to be able to.
He's not Mahomes.
And he needed 7. I don't understand. Even a 33-yarder, make him kick, make Alabama kick the field goal.
I agree.
That's so much harder to do. It's mind-boggling.
I do agree with that. And I think this is one of those seasons, and like you talk about the leash, where there's been questions in the decision making, and even in the off season, who he moved to. Obviously moving Chula to offensive coordinator has had some people not happy at all. I think that's a ginormous understatement. And so I think you're definitely going to see some changes in the coaching staff. To what degree, we'll have to wait and see. But I do think next year, especially because he's been able to pick up some good recruits that are going to be coming in, if he's not able to produce with what he's been able to do in terms of recruiting and the transfer portal in the past couple of years, then I think there's really going to be some serious talk about his future here at South Carolina.
I think so as well. Let's speed through some of the other games. Auburn beats Arkansas. Texas survives Miss State. They're still alive. A&M kills LSU, and Brian Kelly gets fired. And I don't even know if we'll have time to get to it today.
We'll talk more on Friday about the coaching stuff.
We will, for sure. I want to talk about this Ole Miss Oklahoma game, because if Vandy Mizzou was to propel a team into playoff hunt, this might have propelled Ole Miss into the playoffs. And now Oklahoma is on the back foot trying to get in. They have to win out.
Yeah, and Oklahoma's got a tough schedule to do that, Grant. And I do think the implications on the coaching search, I mentioned off the top of the show of how the Vanderbilt loss could change the future of the Missouri football program. I do agree with the sentiment that it's easier to poach a head coach when they're out of the mix for the playoffs.
Yes.
Because Lane Kiffin's got to coach deep into December, maybe into January. If his Ole Miss Rebels continue going, it gets very dicey. Are you going to wait for a coach unless you're really, really sure that he's going to leave the place that he is at? That's risky.
Yeah.
Mizzou is close to being out of the mix here. If they lose to A&M, it's really the whole thing goes off the rails very quickly, and people are going to see the blood in the water and say, we can get Eli Drinkwitz. So that's kind of an explainer as to why I feel that way. But Ole Miss is in a great spot right now.
Yeah.
And A&M, as we'll have to get into more next week when that matchup comes around for the Tigers, they have not done anything this year to show me that they're anything other than one of the very best teams in the country. I don't think LSU is very good, but we know that's a tough environment to go into, and they dominated them.
Yeah.
So that was very impressive by the Aggies, which I did, have as my most confident pick. I think I doubled down on that one with our picks of the week, but that A&M team is no joke.
Hannah, I want to get your opinion now on Vandy after their victory over the Tigers. Brendan and I spent most of the first half of the show talking about it. What's your outlook on Vandy, and do you think they're actual competitors for a national championship?
For a national championship, I don't think so. But I think to get into the playoffs is they've got they're sitting really good right now. I think it's that kind of thing where they just have to keep picking off these opponents one by one, the ones that are ranked maybe just a little bit higher than them, or obviously, taking down Mizzou, and then you've got Texas and these teams where, like a Texas, like they did with LSU, where it's like there's a lot of talk going into the season and a lot of expectations, and Vanderbilt's kind of able to say, well, hey, look, you guys are picking this team, and we've been able to pick them off one by one. So I think making a run towards the playoffs is very likely. I don't see them being one of those teams that is able to vie for a national championship, just because I think within the SEC and outside the SEC, there's just too many really good teams. And like you mentioned, I think Texas A&M is one of those where I can see them taking the SEC title and making a serious run at the national championship.
Brendan, we have about a minute and a half here. Are you praying on Vandy's downfall now? Because I am. I want them to get smoked.
I'm not praying
by
on
Texas.
their downfall. I will be praying on their downfall when they make the playoff, because I said all year they're going to make the playoff. I said it all year long, and I'm irritated that we don't have a jurisdiction of legality in Missouri, because it was like plus 1,200 when I looked, and I couldn't get it because I'm in Missouri. They'll make the playoff. They'll beat Texas. They will not be a contender for the national championship. I found that out on Saturday.
Yep.
Mizzou shut down Pavia. There are other teams that will be able to do the same. They will be more like last year's Indiana, where you'll get into the playoff and they're gonna fall short. You'll be able to convince yourself the margin wasn't even that bad when they lost, but it will be clear that they will lose. Even hosting, I just don't see Vanderbilt winning a playoff game, but they're still a top 10, top 12 team in the country, in my opinion.
I agree.
I just think so is Mizzou, and we're not going to see that by the end of the year, and that sucks.
I'm throwing my hat in Mendoza or Simpson or Marcel Reed for Heisman, not Diego Pavia.
I'm going to end up rooting for Indiana to win a national championship this year.
Wouldn't that be sick?
And I would not have thought that a year ago when I called them frauds, but they're fun and they're legitimate this year. I think they could beat just about anybody in the country.
Hannah, quickly, who's winning the national championship?
I like rooting for Indiana. I have a master's that says Indiana University on it, so that would be pretty good for me. So there we go. I'm throwing my hat in the ring for them.
Who's yours? I like it. All right. Well, for Hannah Barton and Brendan Schaefer, thanks to both of them for joining. As always, I'm Grant Salzman. We'll be back Friday talking more SEC coaching carousel, and of course, trying to rehash things and look outwards towards this Missouri season. Up next is Charlie Tune and the Posse on the Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com.
This is Mizzou wide receiver Kevin Coleman Jr.
And I'm Mizzou linebacker Josiah Trotter.
When we hit the field, we have each other's back.
And off the field, we got James Carlton, State